Down and talk with Thomas and Guy from Daft Punk. As recent as 2 or 3 weeks ago, they were in Jim Henson's studios in Los Angeles. I was out here in London here at Radio 1. We did it via ISDN, and here are the results. Daft Punk, a comprehensive interview about the masterpiece that is Discovery. Tonight's masterpiece is exactly that, made by two people who have made music from the minute that they started creating together right through to the present day. One album in particular they've made that we're going to focus on tonight is called Discovery, and we're talking to the creators in Los Angeles, I believe. We should have Guy and Thomas from Daft Punk down the line. Hi guys, how are you?
We're good, fine.
Thank you very much for talking to us about Discovery, and I guess the first question is, what are your sort of immediate memories that springs to mind?
I think the mood, the main memory that we have is that it was a very long process, and it was much more complicated to do as an album and as a series of recording than our first album. Once our first album, Homework, met some great reception from an audience and a critical point of view, we were put in a position where we wanted to try to do something different, and at the same time to maybe push the limits of some ideas that we had in mind, and it just was pretty much a hard process and took more time than we had expected.
Is it safe to say that that the work on Discovery that you guys put in, and that the sound and the feel was a direct reaction to the response that Homework got?
Yes, everything that we do each time is always being reactive to the previous piece of work that we're putting out, and we might I don't think we were really fully aware of that at that point, but it became quite clear that we would always work in contrast to the previous step, and trying to in this way to move forward, especially with what we were excited about with electronic music, which would be this idea of pioneering things and experimenting, and not just being staying with just one formula that we would just not change. Initially, we were coming from like a rock scene, and Homework was a way to say to the rock a crowd that techno music, electronic music was interesting and was exciting and very fresh. But as soon as we kind of jumped into the electronic music scene, there was on the contrary, on the opposite, a very radical and purist look, where electronic music was pretty much the only good thing, and then all the other music were from the past. And so with the second album, we really wanted to convince the opposite, of saying more to the people from the scene that we were now in, of saying rock music and all these musics are cool. It's definitely, I think, a very optimistic record, and a very innocent record, in the way that, our first album, Homework, was more set into a post-teenager kind of, a trendy scene. I don't know, it's hard to explain, but, with underground labels and the techno scene and the rave scene, and something where, it's this kind of teenage hip thing that you're trying to chase, whereas Discovery was definitely a way to go back to childhood memories, and to this very innocent times, but almost it's true in a provocative way. the record came out in 2001 with the starting of the animated music videos, and Interstellar came like 2 years later. But also we thought it was an interesting way for people to have a second understanding, you know, of the music that they would listen first. So everything, you know, it was a lot of ideas around the music, and saying, okay, you know, we're gonna do this album, and it's gonna tell a story, and how can we tell the story at the same time? So we chose animation over live action, and find a way we would just you know, have these kind of animated vignettes or music videos in a chapter for all the tracks of the record, and then we would transform ourselves physically into robots, and I think it was a very exciting time for us.
You know, you still are able to protect, you know, your anonymity, to be yourselves, and working in that environment has kind of made Daft Punk even more enigmatic. I mean, it's kind of a magic trick you guys have pulled off effectively by disappearing and becoming more famous in the same breath.
Yeah, that's very strange. We're still scratching our head, our metal heads around it.
It's really different from like having, I don't know, Mick Jagger or whoever, as being an idol on stage and everybody looking at him or looking at a band, a big band, and idolizing a band. I think we are really happy that people understand that we are not there for them to worship us, rather than enjoy, like maybe a little bit like the feeling you got when it was like the beginning of the rave scenes, like in the late 80s and early 90s, where everybody's there to enjoy themselves, but more to share rather than focus on someone on stage or like idolizing someone. So that's, I think we're really happy about that, and we are definitely not sad or frustrated that people don't recognize us.
Charge it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, quick erase it. Buy it, use it, break it, fix it, crash it, change it, melt, upgrade it. Charge it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, quick erase it.
The live show that we're doing is really around this idea of doing something which is half in reality and half in fiction. So it's true that we're becoming these robots, and then it becomes almost a fictional environment, which is not really the reality. The show becomes special when you have all these thousands of people around this pyramid, where they're almost interacting or acting out of this crowd around this pyramid of lights, like in a scene from a movie.
Technology.
Obviously, you have been a huge influence on all sorts of fantastic musicians. DJs, Neural Alkin. We had Calvin Harris talking about your music on this show, and I mean, the list goes on.
That's how long I've been on ya.
Kanye West, obviously, his work on Stronger seemed to open up your music to a different audience, or at least more people. Do you think it's been of assistance to you overall, having him work on your song?
Of course.
Let's get lost.
I think, you know, music is discovered or appreciated by generation, and then can be rediscovered by future generation. To really think that basically someone that is 15 today was 3 when we started recording the album, that maybe gives him the opportunity today to listen to it and to discover it, you know, without any word.
Don't act like I never told you.
Tonight we're going to play Discovery in full, from start to finish, as you know, envisaged it and left it alone when you released it. And you know, there could be upwards of 3 million, maybe more people listening to it all at the same time. What kind of mood do you hope that it leaves people with overall?
I think, I mean, we think that this record is pretty much a happy record, you know, so, and in a way, maybe it was done in a little bit more happier or more innocent times that we are right now, you know, so, but maybe it can just be a way to still be optimistic and hopeful about things still today, and no, we're we're definitely happy and honored and surprised that the record that stood the test of time.
Just as an interesting question, and don't feel embarrassed at giving an honest answer, when was the last time that either of you listened to Discovery in full?
You know, as when you make music, I think Discovery is probably the album that we've listened to the most amount of times. I mean, of any artist, you're probably in the making, because from this idea of the sequential aspect of it and the narrative aspect.
I think I never listened to it even once.
Ever since, you know. So it's been maybe, you know, it's been a long time. I don't think we knew that, but we're gonna spend 3 years to make this record and this 14 tracks in 3 years. So it became this very long process, and when you're done with these 3 years of your life, you just want to
leave it alone.
About it.
Yeah.
Leave it alone.
Is there anything you can tell us about that you're working on for the future? And we obviously don't want to pry too hard into what you're working on in your studio or outside, but is there any?
It's like magic tricks, you know. It always takes time, and but we don't wanna you know, speak or reveal any of the tricks.
You don't want to pull the rabbit out of the hat yet without the smoke.
Exactly, you know, when the hat. Yeah, exactly.
We can't wait to play the record out on Radio 1 for everybody. So, you know, I guess hopefully our paths will cross when you've got the magic trick ready.
Thank you for having us.